How's it rockin', Dween Nation? This is the Dween Sports Podcast. We're about to get underway. But before we do, we'd love if you could like, comment, subscribe, or share. We are posting weekly sports content, and we want to build up the brand that is Dween Sports. Thank you all, and enjoy.
Welcome in, Dween Nation. This is your host, Justin Pies, alongside Genoa Agudelo, and today is a fun episode. Only happens once a year, and it is WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Saturday and Sunday, night 1, night 2. We have a bunch of matches set forward. I do think there probably will be one, maybe two matches added. Randy Orton is still on the table for a match. I know him and Kevin Owens had something going on. Kevin Owens got injured, needed surgery. The match is off, but there's been kind of a storyline that he still wants to find his way there. And then also the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. They got Street Profits and Pretty Deadly and Mellow Don't Miz and Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. I think that's going to find itself on the card because those tag teams have been at each other's throats. But anyway, let's discuss what we do have on the WrestleMania 41 match card. But before we do, how you doing, Genoa?
Yo, Dween Nation, it's WrestleMania week, and Justin, I couldn't think of a better venue, a better city, a better stadium, Justin. You and I, we watch football. We love us some Allegiant Stadium there. Hosted the Super Bowl last year where the Chiefs beat the Niners in overtime. And Justin, one of the most beautiful stadiums in all of the world, in my opinion. It's so inviting. It's Vegas. It's the first football stadium, besides where Las Vegas, the college team plays. But Justin, I cannot think of a better venue. The logo is absolutely beautiful. In fact, Justin, my favorite logo out of my now 16th WrestleMania watching, Justin, as a WWE fan. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for the stage. I'm refreshing Google every 5 minutes, Justin, to see if there's leaks of the stages. Because, Justin, I have a feeling that we might see the prettiest WrestleMania stage ever, right? We talk about WrestleMania 33 in Orlando and 24 in Orlando, with the stage is beautiful. A lot of people like WrestleMania 26 in Arizona, Cardinal Stadium with the nicest stage. And a lot of people talk about 2 years ago in SoFi, WrestleMania 39, where Roman beat Cody in the main event. That was another pretty stage. It was all gold and nice and everything. And so I'm very excited to see what the stage is. I'm going to be checking Twitter and Instagram and TikTok all week, Justin, because I got to know what that stage is looking like. Because, Justin, this is John Cena's final WrestleMania. We're going to get into what that matchup at the end of this video. Stay tuned, Dween Nation. But I am so excited for this WrestleMania. A lot of matches I'm very interested. Not to mention, I am one of the biggest CM Punk fans you'll ever see, Justin. He's one of my childhood favorite wrestlers. And this is his first official WrestleMania back. I know last year he had the forearm injury. His only appearance last year at WrestleMania was the commentating for Drew's match against Seth Rollins, I believe, what ended up, Damian, I think, Priest was able to cash in, and now he's fighting against McIntyre. So, Justin, a very exciting WrestleMania. I want to see if our picks are all aligned because Saturday night and Sunday night it's going to be bumping in Vegas. Justin, I wish we were there, but maybe next year we can be there in New Orleans. But hey, what a great WrestleMania it's going to be. It's going to go down as one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited. Vegas is such a fun city. I went there last year. Like, you're going to have fun there. If you're in Vegas this time, find yourself at Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania 41. You said this is your 16th. This is my 10th. So this is Big 10 WrestleMania since I've started watching, and I've been a huge fan ever since. And there's some really good matches on the match card for WrestleMania this year. And let's start us off here. At the top, what's supposed to be opening night 1, we got Jey Uso and Gunther, the ring general, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's lay out the storyline here. Jey Uso has faced Gunther 3 separate times and has lost all 3 times. But when we get to the Royal Rumble, Jey Uso beats John Cena to win the Royal Rumble, and he chooses Gunther as the pick for him, and now he's going to open the show. Yeet's going to be going crazy. I'll have my Yeet shirt on. I bought one, a couple of weeks ago. I will be ready to see Jey Uso lay the smackdown on the ring general. The story was kind of getting stale a little throughout. It was just kind of like beatdown versus beatdown versus beatdown, throwing Alpha Academy, beatdown. But when they brought in Jimmy Uso, Gunther beat the snot out of Jimmy Uso, made him bleed, and it's really changed something in Jey Uso. He's not wearing all the colorful colors now. He's serious and he's locked in. I'm going to go with Jey Uso as my winner to win the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther, a guy who's had a title on him 80% of the time he's been in the WWE, which is crazy. But what do you think about this match?
Justin, you said that Jey is 0-3 versus Gunther, correct? Okay, so I'm gonna agree with you then, because WWE has a pattern to where if this wrestler has lost to this wrestler multiple times, then that other wrestler gets his victory to sort of even the score. Obviously, it'll be 3-1 with the record, but I think that Jey, they have been building him for some time. Last year, he beat his brother at WrestleMania. And I think they've been building the yeet, day one Oos. And I think there's going to be tons of super kicks, tons of a little bit of suplex here. Gunther, I actually like him on the mic. He's kind of funny in his own kind of charismatic way. But I think that, Gunther does win the title sometime in June back. But for right now, I think Jey, he wins the title. They gave him the Royal Rumble victory for a reason. Everybody in Vegas is going to be saying yeet, and I do like Jey Uso to win with 3 straight super kicks, because Gunther is a tough guy. I don't think Jey is going to tap out to his finisher. I think that's one of Gunther's finishers, is a submission there. But give me Jey Uso to win and become the new World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I feel like they got to give it to him. If he goes for a 4th loss, I don't know, his like shine might start to dwindle, especially with yeet. I mean, how long can this yeet train keep going? I mean, it's been about a year since he's been doing it big time. But yeah, and I really could see he wins. Jimmy Uso comes out, Sami Zayn comes out, they're all cheering him on. Maybe his family comes out. But I think it'll be a big win to open the WrestleMania night 1. Jey Uso wins. We're both agreed there. Let's move to this match. There's not a lot of story on it, and that's kind of how we're going to go with it. I do think the New Day pulls it off, because the War Raiders, as much as they're a great tag team wrestling duo, and they put on great matches, they just haven't had any good storylines running with them. And the New Day have been these heels. They got rid of Big E, but they haven't done anything with it. They just kind of been standing around. They've actually lost more matches than they've won. But I think they win here. Give me the New Day.
Justin, I have 2 different scenarios. Now, if the New Day were to win, I think it's only because actually Big E potentially returns from his, couple years from that neck injury, and maybe he helps the New Day win. But if Big E does not show up, if it's straight up, these 2, Kofi and Xavier Woods, just them 2, I'm going to go with the War Raiders. Here's the thing. The past couple months, they've kind of been teasing this New Day breakup. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, had a couple backstage arguments here and there. They haven't officially broken up, because obviously they're still together. But if Big E doesn't show up, I do think the War Raiders, win, and the New Day officially break up. So to me, Justin, it all depends on if Big E shows up, because every now and then at WrestleMania, you get these random upsets where the crowd is like, boo, this sucks. And I think that this match might be one of those where the War Raiders just steal one and they just dominate, and they're just this new tag team that WWE wants to push. So, like I said, if Big E shows up, New Day wins, because he maybe distracts them, and the New Day gets this momentum. The crowd buys into it, and the New Day wins, and they regain the titles, and the New Day goes on this run. But if Big E doesn't show up, I do like the War Raiders to win.
I think that's really interesting. I kind of could see now I'm kind of flipped. I could see a possibility Big E returns, but to the detriment of the New Day, because they shunned him out, they kicked him out, and he helps the War Raiders win. That's a possibility as well. But I like the possibility of Big E returning. That would put some shine on this match that I think it's missing at the moment. But good point out. To the next match, Jade Cargill, Naomi. If you know the story is Naomi, or Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill were women's tag team champions. Naomi, Elvis as she is, blindside attacks Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill's out for months. Who is it? Is it Liv Morgan? Did Raquel Rodriguez, they do it? No, Jade Cargill returns to the Elimination Chamber, starts beating up Naomi while Bianca Belair is stuck in her pod, and we find out Naomi was the culprit. She was the one to attack Jade, which was kind of expected after months and months of us wondering. But anyway, it's been probably one of the best builds we've seen to me in this build up to WrestleMania. They both hate each other. Bianca Belair is now separated from it, as she has a women's title match. And these two just to go head to head, where I think Jade will get back and beat Naomi.
Yeah, Justin, actually last year they were a tag team, I think Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And I kind of figured it was a little bit, not like an evolution, but it's like a, Batista eyeing a Triple H. And I kind of had this feeling that Jade Cargill was actually going to be going against Bianca for the title this year. Kind of shocking that they went in a different direction. But for me, Justin, I am all day going with Jade Cargill. I love Jade Cargill. She's a phenomenal specimen, an incredible wrestler. No, she's not my favorite wrestler because I might have a small crush on her. No, that's not whatever. But I love Jade Cargill. She is dominant. I think she's going to be the best females wrestler by the end of the year. And I have her dominating this matchup. Go Jade Cargill, go. I'm going for her, and I think she wins it.
Yeah, I mean, she's just too imposing. I can totally see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Jade Cargill over Naomi. We move to the next match. The women's title here, Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair obviously returned, won the Royal Rumble, and set up this matchup, which I think it was kind of like a fan, like we wanted this to be set up, but the payoff has not really worked out. They've gone back and forth with, promos, a couple off script promo we saw last week, Tiffany Stratton going hard in the paint against Charlotte. Charlotte was like, Ludwig's in my DM. That was a funny segment. That actually added some sort of intrigue to this, but we set it up here with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, and I actually think Charlotte Flair is going to come in and win, and beat Tiffany Stratton here. I don't know. I feel this beauty. Oh my god, I can't think of the word. This fight is not building up to what I was expecting, and so I think they're going to want to put this title on the more well-known name in Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, Justin, I'm going to agree with you. Charlotte's been out with a couple for a year and a half, but I think she tore her ACL.
Right.
And she wasn't at WrestleMania last year. And I think what WWE is looking to do is kind of rebuild this WWE Women's Championship belt. There's some, holders that haven't been so popular. And I think that Charlotte is going to return to her status as the main heel, kind of like Triple H, kind of like her father, Ric Flair, was at times, just this heel. And I think there could possibly going to be another storyline going into next year where maybe Rhea Ripley's involved or maybe a new diva they want to build. So I think the next year, I can see Charlotte Flair holding the title for a whole year. Maybe Tiffany wins it back, but I think they're going to want to rebuild this women's division just a little. Triple H, he's very, he's probably better than Vince in some ways where he knows what he's doing. I think he wants to build it long term. I think Charlotte steals one and she becomes the women's champion once again.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. We'll move on to the next match. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. This is going to be a great match for the United States Championship. Obviously, Jacob Fatu has come onto the scene and just been lights out, amazing. And we know the super megastar that LA Knight is as well. What are your thoughts on this match? Who's going to win it?
Justin, first of all, I want to say, I don't know if you agree with me. I think it'd be a little bit more interesting if they added Solo to this match because I don't see Solo Sikoa on the card anywhere. And I love me some Solo Sikoa. I think he's pretty good there. I'm really a fan of everybody in the Bloodline or the Bloodline 1 or the Bloodline 2.0. And what I want to say, Dwayne Nation, I am a big fan of Jacob Fatu. I think he is a future WWE champion for sure. I definitely would like to see him carry the World Heavyweight Championship, but first, I think he needs to carry the United States Championship. I love me some LA Knight, but then last year or so, since his loss to Roman, I think it was 2 years ago, we watched that together at SummerSlam. He lost to Roman. I think he's kind of, dwindled down a little bit. I think that Jacob Fatu will win. He is dominant, Justin. He is hungry. And this is his first kind of singles match. I think last year he was just involved with that Bloodline storyline, with Roman and Cody. And I don't think he had much at WrestleMania last year. I think he actually debuted after WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I could be wrong on that because he wasn't with the Bloodline going into WrestleMania last year. But I like Jacob Fatu to get the victory for sure.
I agree. I think Jacob Fatu will be LA Knight here. The United States Championship has gone through ups and downs. They had the Shinsuke Nakamura era to start the year. LA Knight gets it back about a month ago. And now Jacob Fatu, though, has been on a constant rise. He had some really good matches with Braun Strowman. Won a match to get himself into this match. Mm-hmm. And I think, yes, in order for him to get to the main event scene, get him this U.S. title and make that title just scary. I let him hold it for 8-9 months, maybe a year, and him just beating up fools. So I agree. I think Jacob Fatu is lined up to win the United States Championship.
The belt is beautiful, Justin. I'm a big fan of the United States title, so it would look good on Jacob Fatu.
And, there's also like a brewing storyline of Jacob Fatu and Solo breaking apart, right? And they're going to go head-to-head. Why not set up that with Jacob versus Solo, maybe at Backlash or moving forward? Yeah, why not? Moving to the next match. This is a Night 1 main event. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. I'll give WWE credit. I think this is, besides maybe Cody Rhodes, John Cena, this is the most hype I am for a match, and they've really built this up well. With the Paul Heyman and the favor, and the last couple of weeks, Seth Rollins has been doing some some of his best work. Like, hey, and he made out some really good points. I don't know if you saw the segment. Like, Seth Rollins is like, Paul Heyman, why are you friends with Roman Reigns? He doesn't care about you. When he lost the title to Cody Rhodes, he left for months and left you to have to deal with Bloodline 2.0, who threw you into a table and took you out for months. Then you go to CM Punk, who's your best friend. He left you high and dry 10 years ago, decided to come back, and now is only really hanging around with you because of this favor now that you have to give him, some sort of favor. So Seth Rollins to me has been the MVP of this, you know, these three guys in the setup for this match, and I think he's going to win it. I think he's going to beat both these guys. I think Roman and CM Punk are going to have, like, Paul Heyman will be at this match in CM Punk's corner. Roman Reigns is going to be distracted with that his wise man is not standing behind him. And CM Punk's going to enjoy that, but Roman Reigns is going to take a lot of anger out on CM Punk, vice versa as well. And then Seth Rollins is going to find himself as the victor, I think, in this, because he's been doing great work. He's been on top the last 2 weeks. I mean, he almost curb stomped Paul Heyman, was like, you owe me now. And then if you saw Monday night on Netflix, he hit Roman Reigns with the chair, the infamous chair shot. It was the same kind of setup as what it was, 10 years ago or a little bit more. So I think that this match is going to be a really great match. I'm glad they put it as a main event. I know no titles are on the line, which maybe takes a little shine off of it, but I'm really excited for these three, and I have Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay, Justin, first of all, I actually agree with your prediction. I think that's actually the most likely scenario. But here's a couple things before I get into my prediction. First of all, this is long-term storytelling, right? When the Shield debuted, there were supposed to be CM Punk's kind of assistants and shit or whatnot. But then CM Punk kind of had a fallout with WWE. Heading into WrestleMania 30 in 2014, which he was supposed to be in the main event, but then it was Daniel Bryan. But the Shield that year, they won their second straight match, defeating Kane and those two guys from, I think it was Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and those guys. And then, Justin, you know, another thing is I kind of wish the favor included, like, the winner kind of gets put into the next night main event with Cody and Cena. I kind of would have liked that to have been the favor, because it kind of would make more sense if CM Punk is aiming for a title and that's his favor. You know what I'm saying, Justin?
Yeah,
but I understand that. I guess his favorite was just wanting to main event, which, you know, I would like to see CM Punk and Cena and Cody. But hey, this match is just popcorn already enough. I'm going to go with CM Punk because, Justin, like I mentioned at the top of this episode, I love me some CM Punk. I was one of the guys that every event, I went to a Monday Night Raw event and a Night of Champions event after CM Punk's departure. And I was one of those fans that would cheer CM Punk at any given moment. And I was so relieved when he returned at Survivor Series just 2 years ago. CM Punk is one of my favorites. I want to say he's my top 5. Who can forget the Summer of Punk 2011? Who can forget his back-to-back victories at the Money in the Bank? He was a great heel as much as he's a great babyface, Justin. And this storyline is very interesting because you got Paul Heyman, you know, the wise man to the tribal chief. But then you got, you know, Paul Heyman, who led CM Punk to WrestleMania 29 to almost defeating The Undertaker, right? He was behind that. Paul Heyman was then the next year with Brock Lesnar to defeat The Undertaker. So, you know, Paul Heyman is a fantastic figure. He's like the Bill Belichick / Andy Reid of wrestling managers, right? He's the guy that you want to have in your corner. He is guaranteed success. But then you got to look at this. See, you know, Seth Rollins might be wanting a wise man in his corner. And, you know, Paul Heyman is the ultimate prize, I would say, at this match because he is the manager. Like I mentioned, he is the guy that can lead you to defeating the Streak, can lead you to winning a title, can lead you to whatever. He is the ultimate manager. He has some say, I believe, with Triple H and The Rock at TKO. And I think that this match can go 3 different ways. It's very interesting because Seth Rollins and CM Punk hate each other. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns hate each other. And then Roman Reigns and CM Punk there were supposed to be some sort of a faction there. And now CM Punk is taking his guy. And it's very interesting. So much juice here, so much things to end. And then in some ways, it's tied to Brock Lesnar, right? And I don't think Brock Lesnar returns, but it's like Paul Heyman's Brock Lesnar's guy. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar were able to headline 2 or 3 WrestleManias. Seth Rollins defeated Brock Lesnar at a WrestleMania. CM Punk and Lesnar went at it for a really important SummerSlam. So it's so much juice, so much, you know, not saying Brock Lesnar returns, but you just never know. Obviously, there's a lawsuit on the side outside of WWE with Vince McMahon. It's just, there's so much history, so much storyline. I'm going to go with CM Punk winning, but I do like your prediction in Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that is tough is I really am curious how this Paul Heyman plays out because, you know, Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' wise man, but the favor is that Paul Heyman comes out and is CM Punk's, friend and walks with him. And it was some really, really good long-time storytelling. 10, 12 years ago, Paul Heyman has an in-ring segment with CM Punk where he's like, I want to be walking with you when you main event WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And now CM Punk's doing that. CM Punk's like, yeah, then come walk with me. But it's tough because Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' guy. So it's like there's a lot of story there. I'm curious how whoever wins, how it plays out going forward with is Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, are they done? Is CM Punk and is Paul Heyman just going to stay with CM Punk? Like there's a lot of storylines with it. Seth freaking Rollins is and he is not a third fiddle. I feel like maybe some people are thinking that he deserves a lot of credit with what he's been doing the last couple of weeks. And I really am excited for this match, almost as much as John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Like I think this match is going to be great. And it doesn't even have a title on the line. Now let's move to night 2. We'll pick up the pace since we're already at 21 and a half minutes. Mm-hmm. We got the Women's World Championship triple threat match: Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky the champion. The storyline here: Bianca Belair won Elimination Chamber, got herself inserted into a match for this championship, and then Rhea Ripley and Io Sky here. Io got cost her chance at the Elimination Chamber due to Rhea Ripley, but then it set up them going back and forth with each other. Io Sky actually wins the title the day after Elimination Chamber, and then Rhea Ripley finds herself, week in and week out trying to find her way back into this match, and she does get herself inserted here, and now they're all headed at each other. But the big kind of thing which makes me think Io Sky is going to win is that there's been this storyline that Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair really hate each other, and they're going head to head at each other. And then they're like, oh yeah, and Io Sky is just here too as the champion. That if they just let if they loses with that, I think she loses some shine. And so that's why I'm going to go Io Sky.
I'm going to agree with you, Justin. I'm going to go with Io Sky too, but don't count out Rhea because she's been chasing that title since that fallout with Liv Morgan and how, Dominic Mysterio costed her the title. I think that was in SummerSlam. So maybe I think for sure Bianca's not winning this. So it's down to Rhea, but I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah. Here, let's move on to the next match between the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship: Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. Obviously, Judgment Day, 2 guys from the Judgment Day are in this, which to me means they're going up against each other. They might start the match together, but by the end of the match, they are not going to be friends. That's my prediction here. They will break up. I don't know who's going to turn on who. Probably Dom. I feel like there's a good chance. It's one of those, you remember Zack Ryder, Intercontinental Championship, WrestleMania 32, I believe, and he comes out as probably the least likely to win the ladder match, and he wins it. I think that's Dominic Mysterio on WrestleMania. I think he comes in here, steals it from Braun Breaker. I think he probably pins Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship. And sure, you'd be like, well, come on, how's Braun going to lose? But I think this is where Braun Breaker gets vaulted into the main event scene for the World Heavyweight Championship, or maybe he moves to SmackDown. I don't know if they're going to have a WWE draft in May or June. But I think Dominic Mysterio is the one to come out on top in this match.
Justin, I'm actually going to disagree with you by far. Okay. I'm going to go with Braun Breaker all day, every day in this match. He's going to dominate. I think that if he were to lose the title, it'll probably be in the next PLE or the following one after that. But they can't have him lose at WrestleMania. I do think that they are building him to be maybe Roman's competitor as the face of the WWE. He has next in line, I believe, Justin. I think he's one of the next faces of this company. I don't see him losing this early in his young career. So give me Braun Breaker dominating. I think he spears both Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, pins them both at the same time, and retains the title.
Okay, I mean, I could totally see. He'd be my second favorite for sure. And he's got some. I think he actually has cleared the top guys in his spears. Better than Edge's spear. Better than Roman Reigns' spear. Better than Goldberg's spear. Did you see him spear Carlito last week?
I saw it.
Like the flip. I mean, that was the best thing I've seen. And then even this week on Monday Night Raw, he spears Carlito and Dominic Mysterio together, which
that's ridiculous.
I mean, he is too good. He speared Speed at the Royal Rumble, which was hilarious. Like ended that man's life almost. But I could totally see it, and that would honestly, your point makes a lot of sense because you don't want as much as like Braun Breaker could lose his title and then just jump to be in the main event, it would be kind of low for him to lose and Dominic Mysterio win the title. But I see what you're going at there. Intercontinental Championship, I think, is not being talked a lot about, and I think it's going to be really good. We didn't even mention Penta. Penta's been a great addition to the WWE brand. I think he's going to bring a lot of excitement there and have some really good spots throughout the match. But I think Dom, you think Braun Breaker. We'll move to the next match. AJ Styles and Logan Paul. This match is interesting. It hasn't had a great build, but I feel like we've seen kind of the same story. Logan Paul, against Seth Rollins. And then last year, he had the Randy Orton, Kevin Owens bout. And who else did he fight? Oh, The Miz. He fought The Miz, or was with The Miz, and then they broke up and he fought him later. Now, this one, he gets a one-on-one with AJ Styles, who returned from injury at the Royal Rumble. Man, I really don't know. I'm going to pass it to you. I'm not sure.
I think they're going to go Logan Paul. I think AJ Styles has had his little, nice run in WWE as far as winning at WrestleMania. They might want to – I think Logan Paul wins, like, the ref's not looking and AJ gets hit with, like, a Prime bottle or something that's made out of metal or something ridiculous. Maybe Speed runs in real quick and, kicks AJ in the groin and, Logan's able to cap. I don't think Logan beats him clean. I think it's like a interference and the ref's not looking and Logan steals one. That's what I believe.
Okay. I could see that. I'm going to go with AJ Styles. I don't love it though. I to your point, Logan Paul's gotten the better of AJ Styles the last couple of weeks, and Logan Paul winning at WrestleMania is good for the brand. I feel a lot of people would like to see that. I'll throw in AJ Styles, but I don't love it. There's actually a match I forgot to add to our little card here. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. We won't show it. Actually, we will. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to share something else so we just see what we got here. And it is El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. I mean, it's a really great match. We've seen this new luchador come onto the scene, be really great. I'm wearing the American made. Obviously, we don't see Chad Gable. He's not in this match. Sucks that he's not on the card. But, but we get El Grande Americano instead, who's using the metal plate in his head and has been taking out a lot of the LWO. Who do you think is going to win here between these two?
I want to say Ray for old nostalgic sake, but I think he doesn't mind taking a loss to an up-and-coming luchador. Rey Mysterio is regarded as the best luchador. So I think he kind of wants to, pass on the torch and let that division carry on into the next generation. So give me El Grande Americano. I will say, Justin, this will be a very entertaining matchup. That 5, 6, 7 years, we look down like, wow, that was actually a 5-star match. And so, you can never go wrong with two high-flying cruiserweight luchadors there, Justin. So give me El Grande.
I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio. This match is so silly to me. It's hard to keep a straight face, but I love it because it's just very high entertainment.
Yep.
But what I think is actually going to happen here, Rey Mysterio is going to win, and somehow that mask of El Grande Americano is going to come off, and we're going to see that it is Chad Gable under that mask, even though
it might be.
Yeah. He's been selling this that he's been sick, and then like 5 minutes later, El Grande shows up. We all know it's Chad.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But I think that's going to be revealed at WrestleMania, and Rey Mysterio will get the victory there. We'll jump back to our match card, though, and we will go to the next match, which we have Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. One-eyed Drew McIntyre, that is. He got some shards of glass in his eye after a beating from Damian Priest. Now we got angry fighting against two huge guys, two behemoth men. And I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre hands down. He needs the win. There's been some storyline over the last few months that he's getting those quick pins. What do you call those quick pins where they just they roll them up?
Roll up pin.
Like that. That's not Drew McIntyre. I want to see him back on the bloodline hunt and move past the storyline. Give me Drew McIntyre.
I'm going to agree with you. You got, Damian Priest last year cashing it in on Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre gets his get back and he becomes a contender to maybe Jey Uso when he wins. Justin, maybe they can do a little triple threat at the next pay-per-view with Gunther. I like Drew McIntyre. He's a great wrestler. He's a great kind of, contender to any, maybe John Cena if he wins it or Cody or whatnot. Oh, yeah. And so definitely like Drew to steal this one for sure.
I think if Cody wins, which we'll talk about that match against John Cena, I think that Drew could find himself in that match against Cody Rhodes maybe the next couple of months. But we both have Drew McIntyre. We'll move on to this match. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Obviously, Bayley and Lyra just became a tag team. There's been like a looming Roxanne Perez presence that is going to mess up Bayley and Lyra. So I think this is an easy Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez keeping their title.
I'm gonna agree with you, Justin. I think that this is actually going to be one of the probably the most boringest match out of both nights, to be honest. So I'm going to agree with you. Give me Liv Morgan and Raquel.
Yeah, there hasn't been great build for it, and Liv Morgan and Raquel are a great tag team, so we'll roll with that. And then we find ourselves at the main event, at the matches of matches, what we never thought would happen. Not the fact that it's just John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, but the fact that it's Cody Rhodes versus a heel John Cena. I'm really excited to see this. They took it from here, which I was already excited for that match, and then they shot it through the roof, into the sky, to the moon. But what do you think about John Cena's heel turn and this match in general?
Justin, I absolutely love every single element about this match. I love that John Cena is a heel. You know, my favorite wrestler growing up as a kid was John Cena. The first WrestleMania I saw, Justin, was John Cena picking up Edge and Big Show, Attitude and Justin, both of them on each other and getting the victory in my home city of Houston. And then Justin, when I was 12 years old, I had the biggest rage attacks ever, Justin. You probably don't know this, but when he lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28, I was crushed. 12-year-old heart was absolutely angry. Even the year before where The Rock costed Cena against The Miz, at WrestleMania 27, I was angry. I was just, and then the next year, The Rock again, he did it to Cena. And then my 13-year-old self was happy when Cena got his redemption at 29. I was a little bit older and kind of drifting away from WWE at that point, but still always been a Cena fan. I loved when he fought Bray Wyatt. RIP to my guy Bray Wyatt. Those are my two favorite wrestlers at the time. Cena, one of the greats there, Justin. I love my favorite era of Cena, Justin, was 2005 to 07. That 2-year run that he had, beating JBL, beating Triple H, and then beating Shawn Michaels. Those 3 straight WrestleManias. The best era of John Cena. I love him. Justin, this is going to be a phenomenal ending to the night. I think The Rock will come out. There's going to be some few other surprises, just like last year's main event, where Cena was on Cody's side, came out and, did his little thing against Solo, attitude adjustment, Roman, and then The Rock came out. I'm going to go with Cena there. I think it's an ultimate heel battering. I think Cody has a phenomenal performance. Cody, Justin, I want to say the last year, he has been a phenomenal champion there, Justin. He has been what everybody hoped Cody was. In fact, I have nothing bad to say about the American Nightmare here. He has paid his due diligence as a WWE champion. And you know what? Top 7 run of all time as far as a year run. I think it's as good as CM Punk's 2012 to 13 run there, Justin. He has been phenomenal. Every week has a great promo. Any pay-per-view match that Cody has delivered, he's been extra and beyond. I do think that Cena does win with Cody. I think Cody takes a little bit of a break here, maybe like a month, kind of like what Roman did last year, a month, comes back. I think that this is Cena's ultimate heel turn. I think him and The Rock become this ultimate faction, and they add a few other young members, which we don't really know yet. We don't have no idea. They become a faction leading until SummerSlam, where I think maybe Cena flips back to being a babyface. But we'll have the summer of heel Cena there, Justin, as WWE champion. Not to mention the biggest thing of them all, he breaks the record and he becomes this dominant champion, which he doesn't have to do a lot. He has The Rock leading him. He has a couple other people helping him. And Justin, we see one of the best heel runs we've ever seen. Stone Cold turning heel, WrestleMania 17 when Vince McMahon, something like that. The Rock comes out, dominates, beats Cody with the bell. Cena capitalizes and wins his 17th championship. And that's how we end Mania, which that's how I want to see it. But I want to say, I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan too. Cody Rhodes, he has been a phenomenal champion there, Justin. So I'm curious to see how this all plays out.
No, I think you're right on the money. There's a lot I'm excited about. What I've been really impressed with too is that as much as Cody Rhodes has been great in ring, he has been able to go back and forth with John Cena in the promo battle. Like that promo between them a couple weeks ago, I thought John Cena would just bury him, and Cody Rhodes is able to fight back. And it's really made a good build up for this match. And I do think that John Cena will win. I think that is more exciting. Oh my God, shock factor, as well as a lot. John Cena said if I win the title, I'm taking it home and leaving, which obviously he won't do. But I like the storyline of him winning, and then the whole next day or maybe the whole next week, we're like, well, what's going to happen here? What is John Cena going to do? What's the state of Cody Rhodes? And then also, I agree with you. The fact that John Cena and The Rock are, in cahoots together. I think John Cena holds the title, and then till like SummerSlam, where The Rock turns on him and is able to take the title, and that will set up Cody Rhodes versus The Rock next WrestleMania, and we'll get Cody Rhodes winning it back next WrestleMania. That's kind of my goal or my thought process. Because that's what they did. Roman Reigns, he loses to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. Then we have this whole year building back up Cody Rhodes to get his title back. And then he does it at 41, and the payoff is amazing. Why not do that again? It's two different guys, but we have it here. John Cena will win. And yeah, WrestleMania will end with a bang and leave a lot of us shocked, surprised, excited, all of the good feelings that we should have from a WrestleMania card. But yeah, that is WrestleMania 41 through and through. There might be a couple matches sprinkled in there that haven't been added. That we still have a Friday night SmackDown headed our way before WrestleMania starts. But yeah, guys, this weekend is packed with a lot of good things. NBA playoffs, WrestleMania, Easter weekend, all combined in one. Very excited. So enjoy it. If you have any thoughts, comments, anything, drop them below. We will be active on TikTok too, discussing these matches, winners, the outlook of it after the match. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. And Genoa, send us out.
Yo, Dwayne Nation. This was our prediction on a incredible WrestleMania 41 card. We're so excited for this pay-per-view, guys. So go ahead and let us know what you think. If you disagree with any of our predictions, let us know and why. And thank you guys for watching. We love you guys. And as always,